In recent years, few political relationships in Washington have been as visible, as vocal, or as tightly aligned as the one between Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene. For much of Trump's political life, Greene was regarded as one of his most unwavering defenders, a figure who repeatedly positioned herself at the forefront of his battles, amplifying his arguments, defending his decisions, and reinforcing his influence within the Republican Party.
The DOJ has been weaponized against President Trump. Actually, more importantly and more terrifying is it's been weaponized against the American people. And so no one cares about these indictments. What you're going to see happen is the biggest victory for President Trump.
Her support was consistent and often uncompromising, which made her sudden decision to resign from Congress all the more significant. Greene was not a marginal figure or a quiet backbencher. She was central to the MAGA movement's public messaging. Her departure marks one of the clearest examples to date of a high-profile ally breaking away from Trump while still in office. The timing of Greene's resignation is especially notable given the broader environment surrounding Trump. Throughout his political career, Trump has regularly worked with individuals who once criticised him. J.D. Vance is a clear example. Before joining Trump's ticket as vice presidential nominee, Vance had referred to Trump as reprehensible. J.D. Vance said so many negative things about Donald Trump that entire articles were written about it, including one by Vanity Fair titled, "Every Terrible Thing J.D. Vance Said About Trump Before Becoming His Running Mate." The article goes on to list every negative thing J.D. Vance has said about Trump. America's Hitler. In 2016, Vance sent a message to his law school roommate in which he wrote that he went back and forth between thinking Trump is a cynical asshole or that he's America's Hitler, according to a screenshot shared by the former teammate in 2022. A villain and a douche. In February 2016, Vance liked a tweet featuring a photo of Trump and O.J. Simpson that read, "Here is an old picture of one of USA's most hated, villainous, douchey celebs. Also in picture, O.J. Simpson." In an April 2016 op-ed for the New York Times, Vance wrote, "Mr. Trump is unfit for our nation's highest office. A total fraud." During a 2016 interview, Kentucky radio host Matt Jones told Vance, "I cannot stand Trump because I think he's a fraud. I think he's a total fraud that is exploiting these people." Vance responded, "I do too. I don't think he actually cares about folks." The list goes on and on. Despite these comments, the two eventually formed a political partnership. This illustrates a recurring dynamic in Trump's political environment. Longtime critics often find themselves working with him, sometimes in significant capacities. Greene's situation is different because she is moving in the opposite direction, stepping away from Trump at a time when others have been entering or re-entering his orbit. Greene's resignation follows a period of rising tension between her and the president. The most public dispute centred on her support for releasing the Epstein files, a stance that created a clear divide within parts of the MAGA base. Greene is among several Republican members of Congress who have backed an effort to force the government to release more files on the late sex offender, a longtime former friend of the president's who died in prison while awaiting trial on charges that he trafficked young girls. The House will vote on the effort next week. Worse still, in a Republican Party that virtually never openly criticises Trump, Greene accused Trump of a huge miscalculation in his continued dismissal of the scandal and the Republicans pushing for more information. Just being very honest with you is something that I don't understand, the MAGA rep told CBS, arguing that releasing more Epstein information in the hands of federal law enforcement sends a powerful message that the government will not protect the predators, even if they are tied to rich and influential people. The president, who denies being involved in any wrongdoing tied to Epstein, has called Republicans pursuing the Epstein scandal stupid and accused them of distracting from GOP achievements. Greene argued that releasing the documents was necessary to support victims and address long-standing institutional failures. Trump, however, viewed the timing and scope of the release differently, warning that it could produce unpredictable national and political consequences. The disagreement quickly grew into a broader split. The president branded Greene, once one of his fiercest allies in Washington, D.C., a traitor. He said he was open to endorsing a primary challenger against the Georgia Republican. Then Greene stunned DC by announcing on November 21 that she was resigning from the House of Representatives in January. "I have too much self-respect and dignity, love my family way too much, and do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president we all fought for, only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms," Greene wrote. In her later statements, Greene described how her position led to internal criticism and pressure from Trump's allies. She said that supporting the release of documents related to Epstein should not have resulted in accusations of betrayal from within her own movement. Greene framed her experience as an example of how internal disagreements were being handled too aggressively. She also described what she called the political industrial complex, referring to the consultants, strategists and political infrastructure surrounding Trump that she believed had become overly influential and disconnected from voters. Trump responded with a different explanation. In an exclusive interview, he said that Greene's resignation was primarily the result of losing his support. According to Trump, she would not have survived her next primary, and withdrawing his endorsement made that outcome unavoidable.
Once I left her, she resigned because she would never have survived a primary. But I think she's a nice person.
This reflects Trump's long-held view that loyalty plays a crucial role within his political coalition. He sees endorsements, alliances, and public statements as key indicators of that loyalty. In this case, Trump argued that Greene had moved away from the movement's unified message and that her political position weakened as a result. Greene's announcement that she would leave Congress on January 5, 2026 was short and direct. She also clarified that she had no intention of running for president in 2028, countering speculation that had circulated in political circles. Her decision to step down at this moment, combined with her public comments about the movement and Washington more broadly, presents an image of someone choosing to exit rather than adjust to what she described as an increasingly constrained political environment. Her comments about America First not being consistently honoured by the administration were also notable. Greene suggested that foreign relationships and certain policy decisions were no longer aligned with the principles that originally defined the movement. This criticism stands out because Greene had been among the most vocal defenders of Trump's foreign policy and domestic agenda. A shift of this scale suggests that she believes the direction of the movement has changed materially from where it began. Meanwhile, Trump's recent meetings with figures such as Zoran Mamdani illustrate a different trend. While Greene expresses concern about internal rigidity, Trump has been engaging with officials outside of his traditional political base, including individuals who previously opposed him. This mix of departures, reconciliations, and new alliances reflect a political environment that is in transition. Greene leaving the movement at the same moment others are joining or re-engaging illustrates just how complex the movement has become. The sudden termination of the Department of Government Efficiency, an initiative that was strongly associated with Elon Musk, adds to this sense of transition. The department had been expected to operate until later next year, but is now being wound down sooner than planned. Although this development is separate from Greene's resignation, it contributes to the perception that the administration is reassessing or restructuring multiple initiatives. When viewed alongside Greene's departure, it suggests that several parts of the current political landscape are shifting simultaneously. These developments are occurring as Trump navigates a series of challenges, including economic concerns, legal pressures, and policy negotiations. The MAGA movement itself has grown in size and complexity. With that growth has come a greater diversity of viewpoints among supporters, elected officials, and advisors. This diversity creates opportunities for robust debate, but it also creates challenges in maintaining consistency and cohesion. Greene's departure highlights one of those challenges, managing internal disagreements while sustaining a unified message. Unlike previous Republicans who broke with Trump, often moderates or traditional conservatives, Greene was not ideologically distant from him. She shared many of his views, adopted his style of political communication, and aligned herself with his base. That is what makes her resignation especially noteworthy. It represents a departure from within the core of the movement rather than from its outer edges. Reactions among Trump's supporters are varied. Some believe Greene overreached and undermined the unity of the movement by challenging Trump publicly. Others argue that her departure reflects a concern that dissent is being discouraged in ways that could weaken the movement over time. These differing interpretations reflect broader divisions over how the movement should evolve, who should shape its direction, and how disagreements should be handled. Greene's concerns about political consultants and the political industrial complex highlight another area of internal debate. In her view, the ecosystem surrounding Trump has gained substantial influence and now shapes decisions that affect the entire movement. She suggests that this ecosystem may not always reflect the priorities of the voters who originally supported the movement. Whether or not others share this assessment in full, the idea resonates with segments of the conservative base that feel increasingly disconnected from national politics. Looking ahead, Trump faces the task of maintaining cohesion within a movement that has expanded beyond its original boundaries. The MAGA coalition now includes traditional conservatives, populists, libertarians, and individuals who entered politics because of Trump's influence. Keeping these groups aligned while addressing internal concerns will be a central challenge. Greene's departure can be viewed as an early indicator of that challenge. While a single resignation does not determine the future of the movement, it does reveal areas of tension that may need to be addressed. It shows that disagreements can arise even among those who were previously unified. It also shows that the movement is not static. It continues to evolve in response to political, economic, and strategic pressures. Ultimately, the significance of Greene's resignation extends beyond her individual career. It raises questions about how the movement will respond to internal disagreements, how it will balance loyalty with independence, and how it will adapt to the diverse expectations of its supporters. Greene's decision to step down and her comments on the way out provide insight into the internal debates shaping the future direction of the movement. For now, her departure marks one of the most meaningful internal shifts of Trump's political era. It highlights the complexity of maintaining cohesion within a large and varied political coalition. It signals that internal alignment cannot be taken for granted, and it underscores that the next phase of the movement may be defined as much by internal negotiations as by the external challenges.